This is the junk room. Junkman is on the line.
Good, you answered. Sorry about the precautions.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I just hope this is worth my time,
I
mister.
can give you a false name, but I won't. Just call me X.
Well, you know, I've already been warned by others, told to watch what I say, watch what I do. If this is another type of threat, it's just not...
I'm not with the agency, Mr. Junk. I'm sure if you answer the phone, you're interested in what I have to say. But I'm not going to name names or tell you who or what I represent. Except I will say I did work for Kenner, back when Star Wars was on fire.
I understand.
Everything I'm gonna tell you is classified, top secret. It was locked deep in the Kenner vaults, and even deeper inside the Hasbro vaults. Back in 1977, I was working to find kids to photo for the Kenner Star Wars toy boxes. Sure, by this time, most of the other toy companies had moved on to doing boxes with just toys and fun action poses. But Kenner wanted to bring in kids, so other kids could see how fun the toys were. Of course, not all the boxes had kids playing with toys. After one kid broke the X-Wing fighter, he was reassigned to the $6 million man chute. Oddly enough, he never showed up on the $6 million man box, or any other toy box for that matter. Then there was the land speeder accident. Let's just say Kenner learned not to use girls for their photo shoots anymore, unless they really had to. Girls, Mr. Junk, have long hair, and the land speeder has spring-loaded wheels. Anyway, it was 1977, and we photoed these kids playing with the toys. No one knew who the kids were. No one even asked their names. No one paid them. Sure, Kenner promised free toys, but it was best to take the photos and then tell them the toys are in the mail. This was a great plan for Kenner, and it helped sell many of toys. Millions. But some parents of the kids returned, wanting a commission and the promised toys. So as quick as they were used for the boxes, they were removed. By 1980, we were getting ready for the release of Empire Strikes Back. Kenner had high hopes, and they didn't want to use kids anymore. Sure, some kids' hands would still appear on the boxes, time to time, but no faces. Nothing that would cause legal issues, or cause Kenner to have to pay them. Trust me, Mr. Junk, some of these kids' hands, well, they belong to kids, but let's just say we only had the hand and the arm. After all, the local morgue, he was just a few blocks away from Kenner. Remember that next time you see a hand on a toy box.
Wait, you're telling me just the hands or arms of kids were used for these boxes? Can you prove any of this?
Proof? You're not gonna find any proof, my friend. Kenner learned long before Star Wars not to write down anything they didn't want others to know. But those hands on the boxes, just like the kids, they were fading out. We stopped using them. By 1983, with the release of Return of the Jedi, kids, their hands, any part of the kid, was mostly gone from the package. Replaced with what looked like to be a fun setup by kids getting ready to play with their Star Wars toys. But in fact, Mr. Junk, it was set up by professional artists to make it look like kids were about to have fun. It was all manipulation to trick kids and fool parents.
So they replaced the kids with scenes to make it more appealing to the buyers. I really don't see where any of this is going.
Where it was going was 1985. The release of Power of the Force, Mr. Junk. Sure, there wasn't many vehicles or playsets released in that line. But did you ever notice anything different about the Power of the Force boxes that was unlike the other Star Wars boxes?
Nothing really. I mean, there wasn't much release from the line. Not vehicle-wise. There was the battle wagon, and of course you had the skiff, and you had those little mini rigs. But now they were on blaster cards.
Well, that's all they got released. An X-Wing was planned for the Power of the Force line in a new box, but it never made it to stores. Even the A-Wing was planned to be released in the movie line, but it was moved over to the Droids line. But what did all the boxes have in common? They didn't have kids playing with the toys. They didn't even use fancy professionals to set up toy scenes. They used artwork. From 1977 all the way to 1984, Kenner used real toys. This was the backbone and heart of the Star Wars toy line. Use real toys to sell them to kids. Yet almost overnight, for the 1985 Power of the Force line, it all changed.
Who ordered the change?
Well, that's the real question, isn't it? Who is just scenery for the suckers? Was it Loomis? Was it one of the original owners? The names just keep people guessing. Who ordered it? Who benefited from it? Who had the power to cover it up? This was 1984. The Star Wars line was in trouble. Hell, we all saw how He-Man, G.I. Joe, and other toy lines was taking over sales. The writing was on the wall. Yet they made a change that would rocket the core of the Kenner Star Wars department. The real question is why? Why change it at all? It had worked so well in the past.
So why then?
I was still working in the photo department when my boss got a call in 1984. From who? I'm really not sure.
We're changing things in the fall, moving things to the south end. We want you to come up with a plan.
Whoever it was, it got things done. The whole photo department was closed down, almost overnight. Records, files, cameras, lights, everything was trashed. The photographers were laid off. The fresh out of college art students moved in. But no one ever said, the packages must be changed. There was no vote, nothing on paper. No one to blame if it didn't help sales. Sure, some on the low side of the pole, they got fired. But at the top, at the power structure, the people who really knew what was going on, they all had plausible deniability.
I'm not sure if I can buy this. I mean, it really makes no sense. I know the Star Wars sales were slipping, but why change things? I mean, they were so long into doing it this way. Why then? Why 1985? Why Power of the Force?
Look around you, Mr. Junk. Or at least around you in 1985. Look at the other toys at the store. He-Man, G.I. Joe. In 1985, we got Thundercats. By that time, every other toy company was using beautiful art to trick the kids into thinking the toy was a must-have. And these toys are really biting into the sales of Star Wars, who at the time had no real future. The movies were dead, or at least for the foreseeable future. Sure, they had 2 kid cartoons starting up, but that would only keep the line going maybe for another year, if that at all. Star Wars packaging was looking old in the stores. The other toys looked bright, hip, cool. They looked like a work of art. And those in power at Kenner, they were jealous. They wanted to look cool. They wanted to be hip.
You know, there's something about that time period. The change from the toys on the box to the artwork. I don't know. It always seemed that maybe I was just growing up and it was all me. But looking back now, it seemed like that's when my childhood ended. When they stopped using toys for the photos and started using artwork.
That's when you lost your innocence, Mr. Junk. You and millions of kids. And it was right there in your face. Look at the artwork for the Imperial Sniper. The artwork is beautiful, but have you ever noticed something that you can only see once you open it?
Nothing really special. I mean, there's a stormtrooper and a Death Star trooper flying the little vehicle, but can't think of anything else special on the card.
Once you open the package, you can see the Death Star gunner has R5-D4 hooked to his sniper ship, about to drop him to his death. R5-D4, a figure released as far back as 1979. The old figures. This was Kenner's way of saying goodbye to the old ways, goodbye to the old package. Right there in front of us all was the Death Star gunner killing its past. The kids never really even noticed.
I can't believe this. They killed the line, they hurt sales, all because they wanted to save some money and look as cool and hip as the other toys?
Don't be shocked, Mr. Junk. This is as old as time. Toy companies will do anything to keep sales growing and to look cool. But don't trust me. Do your own work, your own digging.
Can you go on record with any of this? Maybe we can do a live stream together.
No chance in hell, Mr. Junk. I would be declared insane and hospitalized, maybe even worse. I'll give you the background. Use it to dig around. Find out who made the call that night. Find out who hired those artists. Find out where those kids on those packages are today. Find out why R5-D4 was on the sniper package. Keep digging, Junkman. You will find your answer. They would have banned your channel already. But you've shined too much light on them already. They're trying to paint you as some ego-crazy southerner. But keep digging around. Do interviews. Stir a shitstorm. Rattle those cages. Remember, fundamentally, people are suckers for the truth. And the truth is on your side, Bubba.
Well, I'll do everything I can. For sure.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.